At 9-28, and we'll take a look at 9-27. I'm not going to read the whole darn thing because it's got a long and it tells you a lot about how you go about using the appendix in the back. And let me just give you this bit of advice. Don't use the appendix. Okay? There's easier ways to do this, and like I said in one of the prior examples, 10 years from now, it's unlikely that you'll have this book with an appendix. If you have a computer, maybe you could look up, the stuff that's in the appendix. But yeah, come on, if you have a computer, you're probably gonna have Excel or a similar product, or there's probably just going to be calculators that are available online that'll do the darn thing for you. So, in any event. And I used to have to do these by hand. Literally, we had to write it out in pencil and do the whole thing. As the old cigarette commercial used to say, Virginia Slims, we've come a long ways, baby. So what this is asking, anyhow, if I can find what it darn thing says, it says, what's the future value of a 15-year annuity of $1,800 per period, where the payments come at the beginning of each period? Remember I said there might be some exceptions to what we were looking at, and this is going to be one of those, right? And the interest rate is 12%. So I actually love doing these because I like to think about, so what if, $1,800 a year, that's $150 a month. What if you went to work for somebody and you put and you had an opportunity to put in a 401k, and oftentimes employer will even give you a match. So let's say they matched you 50% up to a certain amount, and so you put in $100 and they put in $50 for you every month. That would equal $1,800. And what would that be worth then in 15 years? Now, I broke it down to a monthly, and so we can't kind of do that. So I'm kind of made some assumptions there that we wouldn't use for this problem, but nevertheless, I just kind of want to get you guys thinking about those types of things and doing that kind of math, and we could certainly do that. So what's it going to be worth if I get 12%, right? So obviously it's $75,000 some if I did it right the last time. So we'll see again. Here now, okay, we need to take a look under financial and come down alphabetically, and let's go to FV for future value. Returns the future value of an investment based on periodic constant payments, or you could have just a constant investment at the beginning too. But again, we have the same elements. I mean, it looks just like the other one, right? Except here we get present value instead of future value, right? And if we know three things, we can solve for a fourth. So we got a rate of 12%. We've got our number of periods are 15, and in this case it is a payment. Okay, note too how I've entered the payment as a negative. Okay, there's any number of ways we could do that, and maybe I'll demonstrate it here when we're done. Okay, and remember my answer was 75, right? But this only says 67, and that's because, again, type is a value representing the timing of payment. Payment at the beginning of the period equals a 1. Ooh, okay. So I might need to put a 1 in there, right? And that's all I have to do is put a 1 in there where it says type. Notice how that really changed my answer there. And it gives me a 75,000. Okay. Again, this is the part I enter in as a negative, because how I think of it is that's the money that would be leaving my pocket in order to accumulate this in that period of time. Okay, and I said there's other ways. What if I just put 1,800 here? Of course, that's going to switch this to a negative, but if I look at my deal, I could come up here and put my negative in here. Okay, and that would change this. Okay, so there's a number of different ways that you can enter that in. Again, you could enter the number right in here. Okay, it was a minus 1,800. Oops, can't type. There we go. Gives me the same answer. Okay, so a number of different ways that we can do that. Let's get rid of that. We'll do this, and we'll hit OK. and then we'll come here and we'll change this to a minus and get her back to where it should be. So again, this is really important. I really like to do these when and I still do these, and I'm for myself personally, and I'm thinking about things like 401ks and things like that, and what about my investment? $1,800 a year isn't very much, especially if an employer's kicking in a good part of that. I think here at the college, our 401k is we can put in up to 7% of our salary, and the college match is 4%. So they're putting in more than 50% of what we do. Okay, and 7%. For us, as poorly paid as we are, is actually quite a bit more than this. And so you start thinking about the impact of this and why you want to take advantage of that. It's just unbelievable. And this is only 15 years. So if you started when you're 25, this is what you'd have when you're 40. Doesn't seem like a lot, but what if you started when you were 25 and you wanted to know what you were going to have when you were 65 or retirement age? Wowzer. Okay, that's why we put money into 401ks, especially because it can earn interest tax deferred, on and on and on. But there you have 9-28.